The last few nights have seen us have a little bit of frost. That's brought both good news but some bad. We're greeted with a real good frost this morning. I've just checked the greenhouse and it's -3. Not a lot I can do on the ground at the moment. It's still solid, although with the sun coming out it should thaw come lunchtime, so maybe I'll do a little bit then. With the last few nights showing a bit of frost in the air, I think now's a good time to dig our parsnip up. I must say I'm a little bit disappointed with these. The Gladiators are much bigger than this. Hopefully these are just the ones which have been on the outside, and the foliage did get damaged quite a lot, but even so, it's not as big as I thought it would be. The sweet candle carrots. These ones was broadcast sown and not put in stations, so I'm just going to pull a clump up. Another job I can get on with now is cut this foliage down of the asparagus, take it right back down to the ground, and when I get a chance I'll put a top dressing of horse manure on top. This time of year, people are starting lighting fires, bonfires and that. Dry this stuff out, the asparagus ferns, makes great tinder, stick it under the bottom of the fire, it lights in no time. The good news is, you may recall from the last episode, we had that infestation of whitefly on the sprouts. Well, looks like they've all gone. Now, you might be a little confused with the jumping timeline, but a few short steps after filming that clip while I was heading towards the greenhouse, I had the most excruciating pain in my back, and I knew straight away I'd pinched my sciatic nerve. This is something that happens probably 2 or 3 times a year with me, and believe me or not, it's really painful. Sometimes if it's light I can get away with a day's rest and I'm back to normal. But by the evening, I knew it wasn't going to happen, and by that time, I'd ended up in bed. 3 or 4 days later, before I could get out, it was actually hurt just to turn over. It was terrible pain. Eventually, by about the Thursday, this happened on Monday, by the Thursday, I managed to get out, and gradually I can feel the pain heading south towards my left leg, round the front, and once it gets to my kneecap, I know more or less within a day or two I'm going to be back up and running again. Sunday was the last full day I actually had out of bed, and so that's been 6 days. It's knocked me out, so back on the plot again now, and I'll show it in the greenhouse. The sad news is in the greenhouse, and it looks as though all the Christmas potatoes have been wiped out by the frost. We've got another couple of nights coming cold, so effort to save them, I'll just pop a bit of fleece across the top, but I don't have much hope. I know quite a lot of viewers and subscribers to my channel also tune into Woody's Allotment and Homebrew channel. You may or may not be aware, over the last week or two he'd been having an issue. He put a video up saying that he'd received a strike off YouTube for violation of community rules or something there. Well, shortly after that I checked him out and then noticed his channel had completely disappeared. I've been on the phone to Woody and also pinged a few emails together, and because his channel's out of action now, he just wanted to put everybody in the picture of what was happening, and he sent this little letter for me to read out on his behalf. And it's got hi folks, just a heads up about what's happening to my channel, Woody's Allotment and Homebrew channel. Last week I had a video removed by the YouTube review team stating it had violated their community guidelines. It did not say how. A day later I had 2 further messages stating another 2 videos had been flagged for the same reasons and my channel was now suspended. The videos in question were on grape growing, winemaking and footage of a BCS rotavator. I have not been able to talk to an actual person about this problem. My appeals have been rejected outright, so it's not looking good. Currently I am waiting a response from email support, so we'll try and update you all again when I know more. I hope this does not happen to any of you nice folks in our gardening community. It's absurd and I feel annoyed to say the least. Take care and keep the cameras rolling, Woody. If we hear any more progress, if he gets in touch with me, I'll update it on the channel so you're all in the picture. In the meantime, wish him all the best. The latter part of this year has seen 2 or 3 plots being vacated and some new tenants coming on. The normal layout of this site was that we had a 6x4 shed which was shared amongst 2 plots. So this shed here should have been half mine and the plot next door. Well, because I split the plots into 2 here, these are 2 actual half plots. Both the tenants use the shed and really it's no inconvenience to me living so close to the plot. However, this plot has recently become available and the new tenant doesn't require half a shed because they've got their own. So this half of the shed now, I'm actually going to be using it. The chap who was in it before actually partitioned the shed in half. I'll just open it and he put so it's an actually a 4x3 that measures, and I've started to store my compost in there in there. One thing I was going to show you was the onions which you've got left from last season. Is the long red Florence shallots, and the other ones, I think most of these are the onion sets. I grew the heat treated ones and them still rock hard. The larger onions, the Kelsey's and the Robinson's Mammoth, I've got to be honest, a bit disappointed they haven't kept at all. Started to go soggy and we've had to cut most of the onion away and used what's remaining. But these onion sets heat treated, I'm still really very, very firm, so hopefully they'll last well into next year. The last few evenings we've had some really cold nights. It's been down to -2, so I think the next plan for this is to get all of the celery out. So that's all the celery out now. What I've done, I've shaking all the dirt off and put it in this truck here. Not sure what I'm going to do with it quite yet. It'll probably end up as a stock or frozen or stuff like that. Because this has got a solid base, I'll just put some water in, keep it out the frost, and these will tick over nicely. As you can see, it's not going to win any prizes, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm very happy with that. That's this is called Latham self-blanching, and a lot of people this year have had bad results with celery, but mine seems to have done all right. Most of you know that celery is a bog plant, and what I tend to do, I dug the trench out before I planted out, and I put a good layer of cow manure on. Well, cow manure retains moisture very, very well. I've just put the soil back on the top, planted in, and the roots have gone down, as you can see from that, quite deeply, and they've survived our hot summer. So Latham self-blanching celery, recommended. Having just helped top and tail the celery that we've just harvested, started to then think about the worm bins. For people what do keep worm bins, you'll be familiar that this time of the year, although it's winter, they do still feed, although not as much. What I tend to do is feed the bin probably 4 to 6 weeks. Now during the summer I'm feeding probably every week. I've just made a mixture up together here now, and this here is a mixture of old kitchen waste, rotted fruit, there's bread, slices of bread in there, what else is in there, there's shredded paper, put some rock dust in, even some horse manure, so there's plenty there to keep on going. So I'll give them a real good topping up, and I probably won't touch them again till, well, probably Christmas time. The first bin I'm going to be filling up is the one in the back garden. This is the Wiggly Wiggler bin you may be familiar with. I did do a little feature on it a good few episodes back now. One of the things at the time I didn't realise, but I have done now, is that I've got this wheelbarrow cover underneath. And the main reason for that is that although it's a modular thing, it does allow water and rain to get in there, so I found adding the extra cover does help. There's nothing in the top bin. We've already had an empty one. Here's the second bin. You can see a few worms. If I just lift the cover off, you may be able to see inside. And there's still a few there. I'm there hungry, ready for food, so I'm going to start and put some plenty of stuff in there for the winter. This will keep them going. Stack it all over the top. And what I'm going to do is put the other bin back on top there. The way it does work is, as the worms get to the top, they actually crawl through the holes and come into the upper lid. So I'm going to fill both bins. On top, get a good press down so it's stacking, and then as the worms come up to the top, they'll crawl through the holes and start feeding. I'm about to top up the allotment worm bins. This bin here on the left, this really needs emptying now. It's getting quite near the top. Yeah. Lift the covers up. Still got a few worms in. What I'm doing, I'm actually putting the food up one corner. After a few days, looking inside and grabbing the worms what's there and moving them into this other bin. And hopefully, come spring, I'll be able to harvest that there. And it's a complete wheelie bin full. I'm not sure the volume, but all that's worm compost. Bin 2, as you can see, is much lower level. So this is where the worms from the other bin will be coming into. You see there's plenty of worms in here. Lift the cover up. Still a few on the surface. You may have noticed when I opened each compost bin there, I pulled the what looked like a compost bag out of. What this is, it contains normal household shreddings, paper shreddings, and I'm just going to top the bags up now. I just added a few more inches of paper shreddings. Now all I do now is fold the top over, staple the edges so that it forms a nice seal, and then that, when placed in top of the worm bin, forms a nice little duvet on the top, and it does save any heat what's rising. Later on in the next few days I'll be actually insulating the outside of the bins with some carpet. Well, I'm calling it a day for the first day back on the plot for over a week. It's good to be back. Still lots of work to do on here, including the job I'm really not looking forward to, and that's digging up potatoes. But considering my back's been not too good for the last week, I'm going to hang fire for a good few days till I know I'm really 100%, and then we'll tackle that. Anyway, that's it for this one. I'll see you in the next episode. Ta-ra for now.